Here's something else I want to start my hour. Kristine Leahy is joining me. They need to have more women in Silicon Valley. That has been something Silicon Valley needs. Now, you could say, of course they do, but what they really need it for is a business application. It's not because you should have 50% men and 50%. It's not about that. There should be more women in Silicon Valley because it would be better for business. And let me explain to you. Right now, there's apps everywhere. You can go on your phone and download 20,000 apps. Who makes apps? Guys and tech nerds. They're not social animals. They're tech nerds. Women tend to be more social than a lot of techie guys, right? Techie guys run their... The problem in Silicon Valley right now, and it is a real problem in Silicon Valley, is apps could change the world. But the concern is they're built by men and tech nerds who are loners, who are just creating apps for themselves, time wasters, in their mom's basement, a hot pocket delivery system. And if you put women in Silicon Valley who can see the bigger picture, who are more social, they could create apps which would actually benefit more than the tech nerd on his device. It could benefit families and children, and a woman's perspective in Silicon Valley would increase the broadness of apps, that you're not just creating apps for tech nerds. Here's another time waster. Here's another video game on my phone. It's a real thing. So the point being in my rant here is communication is a real thing. And when everybody calls Kawhi Leonard the next LeBron, I always rolled my eyes at it. He's nonverbal. When asked about him, the general manager, R.C. Buford, said on a 1 to 10, he's less than a 1. He doesn't talk to anybody. So a story comes out today that Kawhi Leonard's rehab has not gone well because Kawhi Leonard is struggling with the San Antonio organization. Why? Well, what a shock that Kawhi Leonard would have communication issues. He doesn't talk. Do you think, let me give you an example of something. And there are certainly outliers, but the two most chatty quarterbacks in the league are Drew Brees and Tom Brady. The minute they walk through the tunnel, talk. They're talking to camera people, talking to coaches, talking to teams, talking to coordinators, talk. My knock on Marcus Mariota, he's a nonverbal kid at a verbal position. It's been my knock on Aaron Rodgers, goes to the sideline. Knock on Jay Cutler, goes to the sidelines, doesn't communicate, nonverbal. And Aaron's really smart and he's a verbal guy. But too often on the sideline, Jay Cutler's by himself, Mariota's by himself, Aaron Rodgers by himself. You know who's not? Drew Brees, Tom Brady. They're barking at people. They're communicators. So this has always been my theory with basketball. Most great passers, because I never bought into this, lead by example. That's hollow. Talk. Magic Johnson talked. Michael Jordan got in your face. LeBron talks. Barkley talks. Steph Curry talks. Kevin Durant talks. But I've always had this theory. Look at the great assist people of all time. Think about that. Great basketball assist people. Have you ever noticed something? They're often the best talkers. Magic Johnson, to me, the best assist guy I've seen in my life. Well, he's verbal. He's a communicator. Steph. LeBron. Do you know Steve Nash? Do you know the one guy on the Warriors who doesn't get a lot of assists? He's their most nonverbal player, Klay Thompson. Kawhi Leonard, career averages 2 assists a game. Assists are communication via a basketball. The great talkers and communicators are great assist people. Draymond Green's a forward. He averages almost 8 assists a game because Draymond's a communicator. He's expressive. Verbal cues, nonverbal cues. Draymond's a tremendous passer. Of course he is. He's a great communicator. Kawhi's a terrible passer. Klay Thompson's below average. Derrick Rose, I'm not going to call LeBron nonverbal. Derrick Rose was never a good assist guy. You think it's a coincidence that Kawhi, Derrick Rose, and Klay aren't good assist guys? Magic, Nash, Steph, LeBron, Draymond Green are? Of course he's struggling with his rehab with San Antonio. He's a great talent. He doesn't talk. And I've never bought into this, he's the next LeBron. LeBron's beyond just he's big and strong. LeBron is barking in huddles. I've gone to like 4 LeBron games live. You should see him at the huddle. He's yelling at coaches, yelling at teammates, communicating. You want to be an all-time great, Brady, Breeze, Magic, LeBron, you got to talk. You got to talk. So I never bought into this Kawhi thing. He doesn't talk. He doesn't pass. He doesn't include others. He's beyond stoic. He's completely nonverbal. So a story comes out today. Oh, yeah, they're having troubles with, of course they're having troubles with communication. To have a conversation, two people have to open their mouth. I like Kawhi as a kid. He works hard. He's never going to be an all-timer if he doesn't communicate. And it's hurting him now with the organization. Tony Parker went through the same injury. Tony's a talker. Tony married an actress. Tony's a communicator, Kawhi Leonard. But I've always said, I always felt that Magic Johnson was closer to Michael Jordan. Now, Michael was the greatest ever, but what Magic did was remarkable. If you needed 20 rebounds, Magic could get you them. If you needed 28 points, he'd get it. If you needed 24 assists, Magic would get anything you need. Now, Michael was the great scorer of my life and athletic and the hand size and it. But what made Magic so great is he walked into a team that had stars and had kind of a strange personality in Kareem. And as a 19-year-old, Magic made it work. That would have been very difficult. I like Kawhi. Kawhi doesn't talk to anybody. Kawhi's not healthy. Don't blame him. But you're going to compare him to LeBron. What makes part of LeBron great is his mouth, communicating, whining, complaining, distressed, crisis, solving it. Like, I've never bought into this Kawhi's the next LeBron thing.
I don't think he's the next LeBron, but I think he's the third best player in the NBA. He's the best two-way player in the. But it doesn't stop him from being the third best player in the NBA.
It's hard to be when you're not in the floor.
Well, he's hurt, dude. Like Kevin Durant broke his. No, this is the first time he's been hurt. Kevin Durant broke his foot one year. Was that his fault too? Right? And then he re-broke his foot. And he missed 51 games. Kawhi Leonard is in the big issue is he's got a $217 million extension that is due to him that the Spurs can sign him at the end of this season.
Right.
And he has barely played this season. And like you said earlier, Tony Parker had the same injury. He's come back. Now, Tony Parker also lost his starting job because he's not as good as he was, and he's older, right. And DeJounte Murray has taken his starting spot, so he's only playing about 20, 25 minutes a game. But look, Kawhi is wildly respected, and I think most people thought he's in the perfect spot because San Antonio has a culture of Tim Duncan was their superstar, and he didn't say nothing to anybody, right? So they thought Kawhi's the next Tim Duncan. Wildly respected, plays both ends, leads the right way, but is not a look-at-me guy. But there's this disconnect now because Kawhi, like, hey, dude, at some point, you got to be healthy. You can't be in the training room every day. And I do trust Kawhi Leonard's judgment in that he wants to be right, especially in his contract extension year. This is a really, really hard one for the Spurs because they don't want to bail on him. He's that good a player. On the other hand, like if he's not playing because he's worried about his future contract and that does damage to his current team, well, then that's not part of the San Antonio Spurs way.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.